back to the Lion's Den. It's your girl Precious Leon, and thank you so much for joining me for another video. As you can see, we have so much to talk about today, so I'm gonna keep the intro brief. But before I get into all of that, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can officially become a lion. Make sure you hit the notifications so you don't miss any future videos, and give this a like and comment so that I know what you want to see in the future. We're gonna talk about self-sabotage today because apparently, it's not even apparently, it's apparent. It's very much, I can tell that I've been self-sabotaging and I don't like it. And if you don't like something, you change it, right? So today I'm talking about 5 different ways in which I've been self-sabotaging, how it's been affecting my life, and what I am trying to do, what I'm going to do moving forward. I think that's my fridge. I apologize. But what I'm going to try to do moving forward so that I can move away from these old habits. Let's first understand what self-sabotaging is. Definitively, it means when your thoughts and actions are getting in the way of you accomplishing something, doing what you want in this life, becoming successful. Before I even get into how I've been self-sabotaging, I think it's important that I share where I think it stems from. And I think a big part of it is not feeling worthy of better. Because I feel like if we truly believed that we deserved the life that we wanted, our actions would align. We wouldn't be self-sabotaging. But I think deep down, no matter how much we try to have this toxic self-love, where we project that we have this confidence, have this love, have this value and worth within ourselves. And I say project because if you truly loved yourself and truly cared about yourself and thought you were worthy, your actions would align. Like when your words and your actions aren't here, then something's off. One of the first ways in which I feel like I self-sabotage is through my lack of communication. Personally, I feel like through communication, we establish closeness with each other. It helps us to see each other and to be seen. I feel like my issue is being seen, and being seen as something I don't want to be seen as. And I feel like that makes sense, but I'm gonna elaborate. There have been times when I knew there was a misunderstanding or an issue, and instead of addressing it, I just tried to brush it under the rug like it never happened, or keep telling myself that at this point I will do it, at this point I will reach out to them. But what's keeping me from getting to that point is how they may react, how they may feel. And all of these things are in my head. Like, who knows? They could be unfazed by it, but I'm creating all of these problems within myself and not taking initiative to come up with a solution, or at least procrastinating for a solution. And so I'm over that. I'm ready to step out of myself, get out of my head, and understand that whatever happens is supposed to happen, whether it's good or bad. Regardless, it's all a part of my journey. And if I am going to keep being stuck in this spiral in my mind, it's not going to get me anywhere. It's going to keep me right where I'm at, but also cause more issues in my life than I need, than I want. On to the next one. This kind of coincides with the last thing. I self-sabotage with my fear of judgment. And I believe my fear of judgment comes from the need of control and wanting to control the narrative and perspective that people have of me. And it's so crazy because it all goes back to being in my head and me projecting. I had a conversation with my colleague about this, and how with like my public speaking, for example, I have a fear of showing up in this way and being seen because I feel like whoever's watching is going to be thinking or perceiving what I perceive of myself. Does that make sense? And I'm not giving people the opportunity to just see me how they want to see me or how they do see me, you know? And it's getting in my way because then I am not taking risks that I know will benefit me. I'm not sharing myself with the world because I'm afraid of how I may be judged, how people may critique me, which is crazy because a younger part of me did not care. Didn't like would understand that people had their judgments toward me and would still live their best life. So I don't know what changed. I really don't know. But it's sad. It's very sad. And I don't think it's fair to myself, the person that I know I'm capable of being, because there's so much creativity, so much expression that lives inside of me that I am holding in because I feel like I'm going to say the wrong thing, that I'm going to make a fool of myself, that I don't carry this aesthetic that is praised by society. But at the end of the day, it's not about how other people feel about me. And that's what I'm trying to get myself to understand, but that's what's holding me back is who cares what the world has to say and what the world has to think. And what also upsets me about me having this issue with myself is that I am the same person who is hyping everyone up around me to be their best selves, to indulge in their passions, to be fearless, and to be okay with being seen, but yet I'm the one hiding. Like, it does not make sense. But it also shows that I'm quick to want to see everyone else succeed while I'm on the back burner. And that is not okay. Because at the end of the day, who's going to do it for me? Me. So I can't do that anymore. I can't be afraid of what the world sees me as or paints me as, because that's your picture. And if it's one thing I recently realized is that we each have a different perspective. And nothing's going to change that. And so I should not live my life according to how someone else perceives me. If I look like a fool to you, if I sound crazy, if you don't like what I'm doing, I don't care anymore. And I say this as accountability for myself, okay? So that I can remind myself every time I get into that headspace of being afraid of what someone else is gonna think, that I said publicly, I don't care anymore. And we're gonna make it happen because God has shown me that there is a life for me that I am holding myself from, and I can't do that anymore. The third way in which I self-sabotage is through my need of feeling validated. And it became very apparent in one of my last Toastmasters meetings. I've talked about this so much, and I promise you a video is coming soon. But for the sake of this video, I was doing the Toastmaster of the Day position, and I've done this role before once, but the first time I did it, it was so seamless. Everything worked out for me perfectly. And as life has it, the second time I did it, it was like everything went to shit. I'm so sorry. But it was like everything that could have went wrong, and I felt so defeated and so discouraged. And there was a moment where I told myself I would never do this role again, but I was just feeling very much in my ego. But it just revealed to me how most of my life I felt like the only time I got positive attention or when I feel validated the most and felt worthy was when I was succeeding and excelling. And so moments where I feel like I'm not doing my best, that I failed to show up, or that like all of the mishaps are on my accord, it felt like I wasn't worthy and that I just didn't feel good. Like there's no words to describe what I was feeling. I felt like I had let my mentor down, which I told her this, and I explained to her that I understand that that wasn't the case, but I feel like if I'm not doing my best, I'm upsetting someone or I'm hurting someone and failing them. And ultimately, the only person I can fail is myself. And by holding on to this mentality, I am failing myself. I for so long have been seeking the approval of other people, trying to use that validation in order to validate myself and my worth, and it doesn't work that way. It's very temporary, and once it's gone, then I'm falling apart because I don't have it, and that is not the way I should navigate my life, and that's not the way that I'm going to navigate my life anymore. It comes with affirming myself every single day. The next thing that is getting in my way is my past and the experiences of my past and how they're getting in the way of my present and future. And I know that everything I talked about was in regards to this, but what I mean specifically is being hurt. My hurt is getting in the way, and specifically in the way of my relationships. And I recognize this because of the current relationship I am in, my romantic relationship with my boyfriend. It has been a roller coaster, and a lot of our issues has been on my account because of my past, because of my hurt that I've decided to carry for so long. And I say decided because in my mind, I feel like I have moved on from these past situations. However, I can clearly see that the hurt from those experiences I still carry. And so that means I haven't moved on from it. Regardless if I can see those people from a place of love and compassion and realize that hurt people, so it's not personal. I feel like by holding on to those experiences and reminding myself that people are gonna hurt you, kind of like if it does happen, when it does happen, I expected it. But what we don't realize is when we expect something, we attract it. Instead of looking at my relationship from a place of true unconditional love and support and feeling like I was in a safe space, I constantly had my guard up. And it made me hyper focus and tunnel vision on things that weren't even there. I created problems. Because I was creating problems, it put a lot of discord between me and my boyfriend, and for so long I was pushing him away, and it would be like, ooh, this is like the epitome of self-sabotage. It was the moments when like she'll be great, like I can't help but laugh. Like I laugh when I'm uncomfortable, but this is how you know that I'm being real with you guys. It was like when moments would be so good, we would be so connected and things would be vibing, and I would feel like I would actually feel like, damn, like this is what love is. And as soon as I felt that, it was like, meh, let's find something. Something's wrong. Something has to be wrong here. And that's another way that I self-sabotage. Because of that, anytime shit was good, it was like, it's too good to be true. So let me go looking for a problem. Let me go create a problem so that I can actually like feel love. And it was so wrong. Like, I even just talk about it, I just feel gross because like, how could I have such a good person in my life who supports me, who loves me, who has never made me feel like an option, and like has constantly fought to keep me in their life. And I'm constantly thinking that like in order to be loved, someone has to do all the opposite, has to hurt you, has to make you feel like an option. And that's so unhealthy. And last but not least, the final way in which I self-sabotage is through my lack of discipline and consistency. I have so many goals, so many aspirations and ambitions, and yet I start on a strong path and I fall so fast and so hard. And it's because of my past. I'm so used to inconsistency. I'm so used to instability. I'm so used to like being all over the place that I have never bred in myself the ability to show up for myself day after day after day. Like if it's too consistent, it's too on routine, I don't want it. And that's a problem because they will show you, even as kids, you need routine, you need structure in order to have anything that is healthy in your life. And I have never had consistent, healthy structure in my life in order for me to be all that I can be. And like I said, the moment when things feel normal, when they feel too good to be true, when things just feel like, all right, I need to switch it up, add a little spice, that's when I know something's wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I really apologize for laughing. It's a learning. I think someone's miswired, but it's cool. But yeah, I really have a hard time being disciplined because I'm like, I can't be put in a box. But sometimes you need a box. Not even box. You need edges, okay? You need something to keep you from doing too much, okay? And I do a lot, way too often. And even me, like with recording, with my content creation, I got to a point where I'm like, I need you to show up every day. Do a video at least once a day. Put out a YouTube video once a week. It sounds so easy. But when I'm not used to something like that, it puts such this big pressure on me. And not only do, it goes back into like feeling validated. Like if I don't feel like I'm gaining something out of this, it's like, all right, we're not doing this anymore. And so I get to a good point where I'm like, all right, we're putting out content, we're doing well. And then I'm like, that one didn't do too well. I didn't like that too much. Something's wrong with that. And then I'm like, all right, we're not gonna post for the next week. But it's because I'm in my head about it. I'm frustrated, and I got a little bit too close to my success. And I say that because if you keep doing what you need to do in order to succeed, you're going to have good outcomes. But those good outcomes can get a little bit scary when you don't feel worthy. Full circle moment, when you don't feel worthy of all that is destined for you. So you self-sabotage. That's just that, okay? And I'm done. I'm finding myself in a place where I can't do this anymore. Enough is enough. And that's when things really start to get shaken up. This is our accountability post. We're no more going backward. No more going back on our words. No more shortchanging ourselves. No more seeking validation from anybody else but ourselves. No more excuses. No more. It's time for us to do what we said we're gonna do. Okay? Because the only person you're hurting, the only person you're lying to is yourself when you don't. And I'm gonna just leave that there. All right? Thank you so much, Lions, for going through this crazy roller coaster per usual with me in the Lion's Den. If you resonated with anything, please go ahead and give this a like, comment, share. If you're not a part of the Lion's Den, what are you doing? This is a great place to be, and I just want you to come grow with me. And then, of course, hit the notification buttons so you don't miss any future Lion's Den chat. All right, be easy.